The corporations have not yet won.
Community still exists in small tucked-away areas not often talked about.
Artists and businesses beginning to thrive in places thought to be defeated.
Dave, I like to call him David Francis.
And I, Tom Maslowski,
are here to give you a glimpse of what's going down in downtown J-Town.
We're going to be interviewing all of our favorite musicians,
artists, and business owners
that give every ounce of themselves into what they do.
We are here at Third City Sound, above our favorite pub, Chicago Street. There is an open mic night occurring as we speak downstairs. As Dave speaks as well. What's up, Dave?
Hey, guys.
We have a special treat in our studio this evening. We have with us Mr. Pat Otto and Ms. Bridget Cavanaugh.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
What you guys got for us tonight?
We're going to play some musics that we love.
And have created on the spot?
Yes. We've been preparing for this for several minutes. Many minutes. Many minutes. Ready? And 1, 2. Lonely, I'm so lonely. Family by my side, I still ain't got no pride that I'll hold on to.
I love you, baby, I love you. Seems I'm killing you when I can't find my way through all this sorrow. The childhood memories fade away, sitting here from day to day. The good times are gone and I don't know why. I ain't got no strength to cry. I'm lonely. Crazy. Sometimes I'm crazy. Busting up guitars and wrecking cars every time I'm crazy. So leave me, go on and leave me. I guess I'll be okay, but all the while I'll be sad and lonely. My childhood memories fade away, sitting here from day to day. The good times are gone and I don't know why. Still ain't got no strength to cry. I'm lonely. Childhood memories fade away, sitting here from day to day. The good times are gone and I don't know why. Still ain't got no strength to cry. I'm lonely.
lonely. I'm so lonely.
That was pretty cool.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Hey, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us tonight, guys.
We appreciate being here.
Sorry it took so long to get you guys up here. What was the name of that one?
That's a song called Lonely. Terrible.
I had a feeling.
Terrible day, but I appreciate it for the song that came out of it.
Can you go into the background of that story?
Well, she wasn't that great. I can tell you that.
So the smashing the guitars part was real, unfortunately.
I still blame her. That we do not speak of. But yes, I have. It is autobiographical. I have smashed a few guitars and I've wrecked a few cars. Yes, thank you, Bridget. We all know that. Well, now. But yeah, that's one of the few songs that I just didn't really write. Just sat down one day and played and sang that song and refused to acknowledge it for many years until one very late night, Bridget and I were at a very good friend, mutual friend of ours' house, and he said, "Hey, I want to hear a Pet Otto original," and we played that song, and nobody ever really heard it, and that's what kind of brought it out of the closet, actually.
I was going to say, because you've always been known for being, the right-hand man for all these different musicians. There was Alex Hoffer and John Condren, Eric Lambert. You were in Leadfoot. The two of you guys have done things forever. I mean, the list goes on. And I remember was it 1 or 2 Hop String Fests ago, Triz proposed to all the bands that were like often doing covers to come up with their own set of originals. And how long have you had that one in your arsenal then? It's been that long.
Yeah. Bridget, you might know better than me how long that's been around.
10, 11 years.
Yeah, 10, 11 years.
I always wanted him to play it. He never wanted to.
It's a good one.
It's too sensitive for him to perform out in public, but it's a great tune.
I don't want anyone to know that I'm sensitive. It's not true. I made it up.
And you have a pretty crazy story to begin with. You were not always the mandolin gunslinger that we know today.
I was not. I started playing music when I was about 17. My brother, who's 9 years older than me, showed me Monkey and the Engineer on guitar, and he's like, "You can play music if you want." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
What's Monkey and the Engineer?
Monkey and the Engineer is it's a traditional tune as far as I know. The Grateful Dead played on their a famous album called Reckoning, which is an all-acoustic album. It's kind of a goofy tune. Learning on guitar, my brother, he taught me the chords so I can play the chords while he learned the lead on it. And then one day he's like, "You should get a mandolin." I'm like, what's a mandolin? He's like, "Well, John Paul Jones played mandolin." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right. Let's go see one." Yeah. I don't have any money. He's like, "Well, I'll lend you the money." And here we are. And
you were that's true that you were building $1 million homes at one point?
Yeah, I did. I owned a little company, a small business, and built homes for about 14 years. And quite frankly, I was disgusted by the way the whole system and the whole operation works. And I woke up one day and decided that I was choosing to live furious and feeding the beast, as you might say. Because every dollar you give to the insurance companies and that whole system is something that, in my belief, they used to work against you. And I just decided one day that I'm done with that. And I packed up all my stuff and my tools and put it in a trailer and thought I'd try the music thing out.
Were you playing music that whole time during all that stuff? Were you still an active musician?
Yeah, I always played music. I just didn't play gigs a lot. My brother and I started a business when I was 22. We both quit our job and started just a carpenter contractor, small little company. We'd bring our guitars to work, and we had, at that time, at the beginning, we just had friends of ours work with us. We'd all bring instruments.
And where were you living at the time?
I lived in Joliet.
Oh,
at that time.
I know you were in Elwood for a little while.
Yeah, I moved to Elwood after Joliet. I moved to Elwood, built some houses down there, and I ended up just moving down there. But I lived in Joliet for quite a while.
Well, I know it's probably not as glamorous of a life as building $1 million homes, but we're glad that you decided to play music.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad too. You know, I thought I would eat macaroni and cheese for a year and then give up, but
apparently not. Now, how did you guys all meet? Because I know Bridget has been in the whole circle with Leadfoot, and it kind of goes to the Brett Figuera and Phil Lazzari interview too with Gowhead and Jake Cullen and all those different guys, all the New Lenox people and the Mokina people. And you were not really around here. I don't know how I met you at a fundraiser, the Frankfurt Bluegrass Fest fundraiser, Pat. And that was the day that Jake Cullen said, "Here, you should take my upright bass." Really? Yeah, take it home for a year, and then I'll just give it to you after that, basically.
Yeah.
So now, how did the two of you cross paths?
We grew up together.
Oh, really? You're both Orland kids then?
Yep.
Ah.
4th grade.
And
Otto sat next to me in 4th grade.
What did I behave? I can't remember.
No.
Did I behave?
No, the first time I really paid attention to him, I guess, is he threw himself out of his desk, literally like threw the desk forward, chair back, just to make everybody laugh in the back of the class. And,
He was always an entertainer.
He always was, yes.
It's still hard to sit still right now, actually, while we're talking.
Bridget, when did you start playing guitar?
18. I was 18.
Because I also, the first time I met you was at Galway Tribes.
Yes.
At the open mic night.
So much fun.
Yeah, the outside
Galway.
open. Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of stuff were you playing when you first began playing guitar? Was it still like the bluegrass style thing?
No. I was really into, I never had a lesson, so I would play after like Neil Young albums and Bob Dylan and more of that 70s folky kind of stuff.
Never had a lesson?
No.
So what kind of things, you said you were learning songs, did you have tab? Did you just sit there and ear it out?
At first by ear, and then, when the internet became available, learning different chords. And
I was going to say, how did you learn all the chords? You just kind of just jumped online.
My brother actually took guitar lessons, and he wasn't too into it, so I would snag his guitar, kind of take a look at his books and stuff, and just try and figure it out. So.
Well, apparently it worked.
It only took like 22 years.
How did you get started singing then? Same way, just
church. When I was like 5, I was put in the church choir and started doing solos back then, and
doing solos.
Yeah.
What church was it?
All Saints Lutheran Church on
excellent.
the Grange. Yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And do you still go back and sing at the church now? No. Nope. No.
It's hard to get up on Sunday mornings when you're
when you're an entertainer.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the first band that you were in, Pat?
The first band was Leadfoot. That's the first time I ever played out in front of people.
Which rendition of Leadfoot was that?
That was the early days. That was it was a trio most of the time. It was myself, Jason Smothers played bass.
He's great. He was mentioned on this show earlier too. Because of Phil Lazzari and Brett Figuera.
I haven't seen him for many years. It was myself, Jason Smothers, and Steve Haverchter. Steve Haverchter used to come out and constantly trying to get me to come out and play. And eventually I'm like, all right, I gave in, I caved in, and I didn't really, I played by myself, and that was about it, with around good friends, and Leadfoot kind of got me out there just to get out and let loose and have a few drinks and play a few tunes and have a few drinks and play a few tunes. And,
and how far did that go?
It was fun. When it comes to fun, it went really far.
And so now you hung in there too. Eventually, I know Jake Cullen and Bridget, you two eventually joined the string band, right?
Yes. Actually, that some years passed. I played with Leadfoot when I had my little company for a little while, and things were going pretty well, and I had a couple little kids running around, and decided, man, I'm going to get into music again. And I went out and played with Leadfoot for a while, and I got out of that for maybe close to 10 years, maybe. And then when I started really diving into music again a lot, I just, somehow Bridget and I started hanging out and talking, and I met Jake Cullen actually at Chicago Street Pub at a jam.
Really?
And then we all joined Leadfoot at the same time. So that was the second time I was in Leadfoot during that time.
So was that was before my time then? So was that a Condren run open mic night?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because if it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was definitely Condren.
Yeah, I guess that's when I met John Condren.
Geez Louise.
Yeah, Jake was there. He was. I had seen Jake doing sound for the Regressors a couple times, and just personality-wise, we all, we didn't say much. We would always end up standing next to each other, making very few comments through the night, and then finally at that open mic night, he's like, I brought an upright bass there, and he's like, oh, you have an upright bass? Yeah. Let me try it. So he tried it until he had blisters on 3 of his fingers, and he was trying to play with his thumb or his pinky, and then he's like, man, I like it. Man, I like this a lot. Like, well, you should take it home. He's like, are you sure? I don't even know how to thank you. I'm like, don't thank me. You're going to end up being my bass player.
Was that the same bass that I have now?
No. That was that bass I still own.
Okay, because I was like, geez, Louise, it's the same story.
Yeah, he took
and bases.
Yeah. Those things aren't cheap, man. It's like if someone gives you one of those, it's like, holy cow, I have to learn how to play this.
He took that home and it actually broke. He felt all weird about it, and he ended up buying one, and we played in Leadfoot for a while. And then, I did the Lambert thing, and Jake Cullen played with Lambert, as you know, for a stretch. And, he's growing food now, and he's got some goats and some cows and all that, which is awesome.
I enjoy eating his vegetables. Does that sound creepy? I do, though. I like the vegetables.
No.
I enjoy eating his vegetables.
I really enjoy his goats. Would be a little more awkward.
Yeah. I love those goats. Oh, the goat cheese. Although goat cheese.
His Swiss chard is amazing.
Yeah. It's very bittersweet.
And what a fella. He's out there in his woodshed playing the drums with his makeshift drum set, and he's got an electric bass he's picking on out there. So.
Well, that's good to hear because he's amazing. He's actually a killer bass player. And he was part of that whole, and it's great that so many different players that are doing so many different things all pretty much came out of that same little area. It seems like the Gowhead folk and the Leadfoot folk kind of spawned all these different bands. And there was a metal scene going on, too. I was part of the metal scene, but now I swear all of us are here at Chicago Street Club like, oh, you knew him, you know him. Oh, it's been amazing. And
absolutely.
And it's continued. It is. It's insane. I mean, Dave has his whole own story, too, of all the Wilmington people and the Kankakee people. Like,
well, and these people, I kind of knew about this. Like the Regressors, my brother worked with Jake Cullen in a machine shop, and he would go see the Regressors play, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
Until I found a Regressors CD like 6 months ago, and all my friends are on the back of the cover.
Like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Gowhead, not Regressors. It's Gowhead.
Gowhead, yeah. which did turn into the Regressors.
Turn of the century here, like 99,
And that's another guy we got to get in here, too, for the same reason, is Kevin Krause.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it wasn't for Kevin Krause and Phil Lazzari, I would not even know this place existed.
While we're on it, and only because he owns the place, Bill gave me some shit. He said, motherfucker, I do listen to your show. And you forgot to say I was involved with Gowhead.
He did. Yeah, he did call us. No, we did finally mention it at the end of the show. We got Bill in there. But and now, and it hasn't stopped. There's a whole new wave of things going on again. And you guys we're all still part of all these new branches. Now we're getting some city folk even involved in the whole thing. You've been playing with a band called Growler for it's been a couple 2-3 years, right?
I think it's been about 3 years. Yeah. We just recorded an album. We haven't released it yet. It's been fun. Them are city folk.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, those are some good players too. It was like a whole nother insane group of people. Is that the Hen House Prowler scene?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Chicago scene the bluegrass scene in Chicago is pretty small. Everybody knows each other. Everyone jams with each other. So, the Hen House Prowlers is a whole thing in itself. They're in Pakistan and Djibouti, Africa, and all kinds of different places.
That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
And Bridget, you're still up and running and functioning, and now you're in the Big Lagnaippe.
The Big Lagnaippe.
With Dave and Kevin, like they keep saying the same names over and over and over again. It's all the Joliet, regulars.
Joliet rock stars.
Yeah, the Joliet rock stars.
Well, that's the great thing about this place. I mean, we came here 10 years ago, and I've made so many. It's a collective of musicians, and so many great things have come out of it, and it's all intertwined, and everybody just kind of throws in, and different stuff comes out from it, and it's great.
Big incestuous relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
J-Town for me is like the place where it's just mixed genres, just everybody coming together. I've played in acoustic folky bands.
The the Alice in Chains acoustic
yeah,
band.
yeah, and you know, like
Muppets.
the heavy metal guys playing with these everything.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing experience, you know, being able to come to a place where there's all different genres of music. Everybody's been totally cool, and everybody has learned something about everybody's background. You know, we all it's a life-changing experience being able to meet a bunch of musicians that all play different music and all interested in each other's stuff.
Yeah, so many new,
Very supportive.
Yeah, and so much new music happening all the time and learning. I mean, I would never have thought I was going to play bluegrass or acoustic guitar or ukulele. You know, I got you playing, like say, Alice in Chains songs. I mean, you kind of discovered that on your own, I guess. But and then now, Bridget, you're in the Big Lagnaippe doing.
Yeah, I went from bluegrass to funk, jazz, New Orleans style,
and killing
playing
it.
tambourine for the first time. And yeah, it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun.
And I know you can't speak for the whole band and everything. There's going to be bits and pieces of different members coming up, but you guys do have an album coming, though, right?
The start, yeah. Yeah.
She looks at me.
Looking at you, David Francis.
Yeah, we're working out plans. We're starting pre-production. How's that?
Yeah,
It's in
beautiful.
the pre-production stage.
Yes.
There will be an album completed this year of the Big Lagnaippe.
Yes, very exciting.
And I don't mean to say that you guys never worked on originals before, but it's definitely something new for your audience to hear you playing originals. Is there anything different about your playing now that you've been playing originals that are yours and not somebody else's originals? Like, I know you've always played originals with Conjuring and different people, but now they're yours, Pat. Is there a new outlook that you have because of that?
Yeah, I mean, it feels more honest. Really, I feel a little exposed at the beginning. First playing at Hop String Fest and committing to playing a set of all original music was a little like, man, I don't want people to know this is mine. I almost wanted to pass it off as somebody else's songs, but it also, what else? I would have never finished all the tunes and got them ready to play anywhere because when you're playing other tunes, you're trying to learn songs and there's some drive to learn other songs. It's not that personal. When you're trying to finish something that's personal, at least for me, I think I need a little incentive. But it has been.
Yeah,
it
that
feels
was a big thanks to Triz for
Yeah.
having you do
right.
that.
Do you feel
they're
like
great
is
songs.
it harder to like solidify it and say that it's finished or that it's ready to present to people as opposed to collaborating with somebody else when it's all yours?
I guess when it's my stuff, it feels like if it's changes in the moment, then that's what it is. It feels personal. I'm playing somebody else's song that I love. I really want to do it justice and put just the right emotion in it. When I'm playing my tune, it's kind of my emotional experience, and it is what it is. Maybe if I go out and it sounds sad or it sounds happy, then it is what it is. It's kind of my gig, which is really cool. Because, like you said, Tom, I've been the sideman for everybody I can end up standing next to. And
Ellie Maroney, Scott McNeil, Tristan Charles, Matt Biskey. I mean,
yeah.
And the same with you, Bridget. I mean, has it been any different? Is it just kind of like just playing music is whatever? Does it?
I've never written. I just feel other people's music deeply, and I've never been one to be a front person anyway. I like being in the background and adding and harmonies and stuff like that. So I'm okay with,
I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
I guess I started taking voice lessons, and one of my assignments from my teacher was to actually play a show where I'm not playing with somebody at all. I can just do it all myself, which
exposure therapy right there.
I am not cool with that at all. And
it's no fun.
And I'm not allowed. Well, I'm not supposed to be allowed to open my or close my eyes. That's always my thing, is like play with my eyes closed, and that's genuinely how I listen. That's how I visualize. I can see like the chart in my head. I can hear what the drummer is playing and what you're playing, and then what I'm doing over that. And
it's definitely different.
Yeah,
when you have to make that eye contact and draw people in.
Like I have to
Just look
make
at the back of the room.
like I'm not making eye contact. What do you mean eye contact?
Well, I've stared above many a head. in my
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Back wall it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there'll definitely be back wall staring. But the joint's really small. I might not be able to see the back wall. I might have to look at a person like, hey, I'm trying to see the back wall. Can you move out of the way?
There's nothing like doing the sideman thing for years and years and then going out and playing a show by yourself and then you finish a song and it goes well and then you're like, holy shit, I have to say something to these people.
Yeah, you have to have some kind of speech or something, right? And
Yeah.
That's the worst part about it.
It's a different thing, you know?
And Pat, you had a couple other projects too. There wasn't just Growler going on. There was another one too.
I play quite a bit with Rob Anderlich and Mike Church.
Oh, God, I forget about that.
We have never agreed on a name, so therefore we have been Anderlich, Otto, and Church with various guests we have all the time.
Yeah.
It's not a law firm, but it sounds like it. Anderlich, Otto, and Church.
I never thought of it that way.
I can't necessarily get you out of trouble, but we might get you into trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, obviously. Now, is there any originals going on with those guys?
Yeah. Honestly, with that group, what I love to play is that Rob Anderlich has some moving instrumental original music that I love to play. We play some of my original tunes. It seems like we play like a bunch of rockin' and blues, and we'll play a Little Feat tune and a Pink Floyd song and a, whatever, a Jimi Hendrix tune and all kinds of stuff. It's all acoustic. And then when we play our original music, it's always this like moving, sensitive stuff, which creates a different dynamic of the show, which I love, I love playing with those guys. We often play with a guy, a cello player, Tom Culver, who's incredible. Yeah. And he can like rip all the Allman Brothers licks on his cello.
Yeah, yes, he can.
And we often play with Aaron Smith, who also plays in Growler on bass.
Yeah, he sings really well too.
It's great having him out there singing and playing. He bows lots of bowing solos on the bass and all that stuff. I love playing with those guys.
Yeah, that's a good lineup, that whole thing. And once we start moving into doing the full band shows, I'd love to have each one of those projects up here.
We would love it.
And you're the man of many instruments, actually. I'm like, you play mandolin, mandola. Oh, dang! And that's it. Those are the magic chimes signaling the end of the interview portion of our show this evening. How'd I do?
Amazing.
Yes.
I know. I was like, this is a good spot to hit the chimes, and then you ask another great question. So, my bad.
Do you guys have a second song tonight?
Certainly.
Certainly.
Is there any backstory to this one?
Man,
the
same wretched woman I was singing about earlier.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure she'll never hear this.
That's disappointing.
Cougar is the best, though.
That was an insider there. We're not going for that one.
Another time and place.
Episode B.
Thank you all so much for having us.
Hey, thanks for coming out, man. That was great to see you guys.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, you've been throwing stones at me, my darling. You treat me the way you want to do. You tell me I ain't got a mind to leave you, but that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I go out and find myself another, grab myself another bottle of booze. You can't find me in another smoking bar room. Got me down with nothing left to lose. You've been throwing stones at me, my darling, and it's too late, girl, I'm walking out on you. Well, you've been running all over town, dear, just trying to find yourself in someone new. Well, you've got a man and he won't do you good now, and it's too late, girl, I'm walking out on you. You tell me that you never want to hurt me, tell me that your love for me is true. I'm not the only one to hear these words, dear. Believe me when I tell you we are through. You've been throwing stones at me, my darling, and it's too late, girl, I'm walking out on you. You've been throwing stones at me, my darling, treat me the way you wanna do. Tell me I ain't got a mind to leave you, but that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll go out and buy myself another, grab myself another bottle of booze. You can't find me in another smoky bar room. Got me down with nothing left to lose. You've been throwing stones at me, my darling, and it's too late, girl, I'm walking out on you.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Man, I've been watching the two of you guys play together for years. That was a lot of fun to see it up here one more time.
I swear to God, next year we're going to practice.
Well, I hope so, because then it'll be like immaculate. That'll be awesome. Dave, do you have any final words to say to us this evening?
Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you,
That's about
David
it.
Francis.
I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of new to the scene. I was around back in the day and took some time off, so it's just fun for me to hear all these stories.
And you have a good radio voice.
That's what I hear that
Very
a lot.
sexy.
Yeah.
Very sexy.
Wow.
I didn't say that. Well, I didn't say all that, but
What if
I'm
I
glad
talk-
you did.
What if I talk like this?
Pat alluded to it, though.
I did. I felt it.
Now I'm insecure.
Well, to make sure that we don't offend anyone that perhaps owns any certain buildings that we may or may not be doing this in, I'd like to thank Michael Trisna for being the landlord of the building in which Bill Aldrich owns the recording studio that Dave is so kindly working the soundboard for us to
Like a
listen
Russian
to you.
nesting doll situation going on there.
So basically, I'd like to thank everyone that's ever walked through the doors of Chicago Street Pub and Third City Sound. This has been What's Going Down in Downtown J-Town.
Yeah.